Joy News Prime.
Hello, welcome to Joy News Prime here on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. I am Komla Adum. Coming up in tonight's bulletin, former President John Dramani Mahama tells members of the opposition NDC this is not the time to talk about who leads the party in the 2020 elections. And police in the eastern region on the manhunt for a man who is alleged to have severed the left arm of his girlfriend in Suhum Friday night. And editor of the New Crusading Guide newspaper, Abdul Malik Wekubako, accuses the Forestry Commission of selling Ghana's forest reserves and concessions to Chinese and Ghanaians for money. Details of these stories, including sports and entertainment, coming up in the next half-hour package. To stay on. To our very first story, police in the eastern region are on a hunt for a man who is alleged to have severed the left arm of his girlfriend in Suhum Friday night. The suspect, Joseph Tay, is said to have accused the victim of infidelity and has since absconded after committing the crime. Eastern Regional Police said the suspect was arrested after the incident was reported to them. We spoke to him earlier, ASP Ebenezer Tete, who confirmed the incident to Joy News.
We are looking for a suspect, one Joseph Tay. We have declared him wanted now. And the reason being that he severed the left hand of a girlfriend, one patient, Tay, at a village called Aponapono near Suhum. The incident actually happened early this morning, and it was reported by the brother to the Suhum police. Unfortunately, on the part of the police, soon as the suspect committed a heinous crime, he bolted. So as we speak, he is gone into hiding, and we've declared him wanted. We are looking for him to get him arrested. So we are appealing to residents around Aponapono, to whom and the other surrounding areas, to kindly volunteer very vital information that could lead to the arrest of the suspect, so that he could face the full rigors of the law. The reason behind the severing of the hand of the girlfriend, as we speak now, is not yet known, because the lady in question, in her current state of agony, cannot give us, the exact reasons why those things happen. But the pieces of information that we are gathering is that they are into a relationship, and one of the persons is suspecting the other of engaging in something that is untoward, and that has resulted in the cutting of the hand. So we are suspecting that the partner is suspecting the girlfriend of cheating on him, or going behind him. So that is the reason why he has done what he did. But we don't think that is even a justifiable reason or a justifiable cause for anybody to do that. So that is why we are looking for him to get him arrested.
Now, Eastern Regional Correspondent Kofi Sian, who has visited the victim in hospital, joins us on the telephone line for more details on this story. Hello, Kofi Sian, if you can hear me, what's the current condition of the victim?
Well, the health authorities at the Suhum Government Hospital say that the victim's condition is currently stable and is responding to treatment. All
right. Will doctors be able to piece together the severed arm of this particular victim in question?
Well, they say it's impossible because it was cut off completely, and the time that they brought the victim to the hospital was very late.
All right. Many thanks to you, Kofi Sian, for that update. We move to some other stories now, where Chairman of the Justice for All program, Justice Clemens Homenugan, has ordered investigations into the whereabouts of a remand prisoner at the Ankafo prison in the central region. The remand prisoner was expected to appear before the court on Friday after his case to be heard, but prison officials could not find him. Seth Kwame Boateng joined the court hearings, which took place at both the Winneba and Ankafo prisons on Friday.
The Justice for a program has been running almost every month for the past 2 years, following the locked and forgotten documentary. The immediate past Chief Justice Georgina Theodora Root activated the Justice for All program, and it's since been running. The team came to the central region. The judges started from Winneba, where 18 people were granted bail, where one was released unconditionally. A case was struck out, and 4 people had their bail application refused.
I remember that last 2 years when we came here, there were 42 inmates whom we dealt with, but for today, we've made progress, and therefore we had to deal with only 26 inmates.
So how did the program go?
The program went well. We discharged 1 of the inmates and granted bail to 18, and we struck out 1 application, and then we refused bail to 4, and 2 were already convicted by the other courts. So the total number of inmates we dealt with is 26.
We then continued to the Ankafo and next prisons, where 3 judges also sat, and interesting things have come out. For example, in one of the courts, a gentleman who assaulted somebody in Tema was arrested in February 2016. He had a mental condition, so a court in Tema ordered that he should be sent to the psychiatric hospital. So instead of the police taking him to the psychiatric hospital, they rather came to Ankafo annexed prisons and dumped him here. Appeared before one of the judges, and he wasn't too happy about what had happened. And his case, as the judge said, was a misdemeanor case, and he shouldn't have been in court for over a year. So he has ordered that he's freed, and that his family takes him to the psychiatric hospital for a review and for treatment. But I have with me here Jonathan Owusu. He's from Pulse Foundation. They have been helping with the Justice for All program. This has been running for the past 10 years, and your foundation has been very supportive. You go around, interview all these people before the judges get a chance to come and sit on their cases. How do you feel, and how do you describe hearings?
Very, very successful, and successful in the sense that at the end of the day, the prisons are congested. And so the sole aim of Justice for All is to decongest the prisons. So as part of the defense team made up of lawyers and paralegals from Pulse Foundation, our success is based on the number of people who have stayed, who have been released based on the longer period they've served in prison custody. So if you have somebody who has spent about 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and you saw it in court being released, then it is something that we would describe as successful and encouraging, because it is a way of promoting human rights. And as a human rights organization, promoting the right of prisoners, particularly remand prisoners, is core and critical to us. So if we have people released on bail, released by discharge, then it's a way to decongest the place. It's a way to uphold their freedom and their rights, and then they also can go join their family and then continue with their lives.
Away from that story, the editor of the New Crusading Guide newspaper, Abdul Malik Kwekubako, has disclosed that there is a big fish at the Forestry Commission selling Ghana's forest reserves and concessions to Chinese and Ghanaians for money. Though he fell short of mentioning the forestry officials named, he indicated that big fish has been caught on tape selling the country's forest reserves to whoever has the money to pay. The Forestry Commission is responsible for the regulation of utilization of forest and wildlife resources, conservation and management of those resources. But speaking on oyNews' current affairs program, News File, on the lynching, burial and prosecution of suspects, Kwekubako said there is more to the murder of the late Major Adam Mahama than what the police's initial investigations have revealed.
Galamsey had been going on for the last 20 years in that place. The company went to got its license August 2016. Go and check the situation there. You will see that this is a place that has been galamseyed for more than 20 years. These are not things to talk about now. I would want the government to have an established platform and get all the evidence, because you will see why perhaps we got into this mess.
Right.
Okay? Let me give you a hint.
Which the prosecution will not provide.
Yes, there's a big fish, and this is just to drop something, at the Forestry Commission, who was making all sorts of noise and calling the army, calling the police, doing this, doing that. That gentleman is caught on tape selling forest reserves and concessions to Chinese and other Ghanaians and collecting money. Feedy. He's there. He's at the Forestry Commission. He's a big man.
Now, oyNews' checks has revealed that some banned traditional bitters and aphrodisiacs are still on sale despite the directive by the Food and Drugs Authority to producers of these products to get them off the market. One of these banned substances, Mahogany Bitters, according to consumers, has medicinal values, a reason they patronize it. Dadzie has the rest of the story.
3 people have already died in Takrady after ingesting mahogany bitters. Doctors warn that because these bitters are prepared in unregulated environments, it is unsure what sort of chemical composition they have, and so you do not know what danger you're in if you take just a sip. Despite several warnings, consumers insist they take these bitters for their medicinal value.
Mahogany is good. Mahogany is a medicine. But the aphrodisiacs itself they used to mix the mahogany, maybe the aphrodisiacs is not good. It's not correct. You see, but when you use from the palm tree extract, you feel it.
There's some sickness, something like cold and things, and they normally say that when you mix the medicine with this apioloca, like aphrodisiacs, they work earlier, faster than like these ordinary drinks. That's why we prefer that one. And if you don't know much about them, you know, there's any bad side and a good side. It can be a bad side if you don't know, but if you know the good side, I think it can help.
In fact, if you take it like this, we feel the food very sweet in our mouth, and after that, it helps us in our amenities that we do in life.
Many things like what?
Oh, normally we feel happy during our sexual intercourse, and the women also feel it very good with the men having them.
Vendors also say business is booming as more and more customers are satisfied with the product. Some even say they are certified vendors of mahogany.
There was a time when the traditionalists came here, and we were having an association. So they gave us this certificate so that we can buy the medicine from them.
So you buy mahogany from them?
The mahogany and all the type of the wood that we should do appetition. Formerly, they stopped us from mixing appetition with some wood. And these people came out. And so if you have this certificate, you know the type of wood that you use. They educated us, not that you go and buy the certificate for nothing.
People who patronize it, I mean, give praise to it, that it is good for them. Some is waste, some, I mean, mahogany, some for headache and those things. But those who patronize it says it is good for them.
It's nearly midday, and now this bar is empty. But the vendors tell us that around 4 p.m. and after that, this place will be full of customers. And she tells us that the majority of them will be ordering for bitters such as mahogany, irrespective of the warnings that doctors have given. It seems the FDA and the authorities have their work cut out for them if they really want people to stop ingesting and selling these drinks. For oyNews, my name is Dadzie.
Away from that, Vice Chancellor of the University for Energy and Natural Resources, Professor Ashaiman, says government should introduce skill development training into the educational curricula. Professor Iwa opines the challenges of the times require students to have multiple skills to survive. She was speaking at the launch of the Golden Jubilee celebrations of the African Hall of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
Africa Hall, Africa Hall.
It is under the theme 50 Years of Women Education and Empowerment Nation Building. Professor Mrs. Ashaiman urges women not to forget their primary roles as mothers.
To say that education as we see it is not just going to lectures, imparting knowledge through lectures and laboratory practicals. Education, in my opinion, is to train an individual to be able to help society and provide quality service in one's discipline for sustainable development. The modus operandi for this kind of education are as follows: group work, studying together, community field works, learning to share and interact, showing love and care towards one another, and particularly our environment.
Branches knows no bounds.
Warden of Africa Hall, Dr. Mariana Santuan Kansa, acknowledged the contribution of women in especially areas of science and technology. She attributes to the types of courses run at the university. Dr. Marian, however, was worried the educational syllabus has become results-oriented, thereby relegating skill development to the background.
New style of education in Ghana has become results-oriented, grades-oriented. So people generally are interested in learning hard and making the grades. And in the process, they overlook other aspects of development, which is not just making the grades and getting a profession, but developing other aspects of your life, homemaking, skills training, as you mentioned. So this is an area that I think we'll look at going forward and find a niche within the Hall's administration to see how best we can inculcate these skills in the new generation of Africa Hall students who seem to have lost the essence of being hands-on and all-rounded people.
Reporting for oyNews, President.
Let's do one of our headline stories now. Former President John Dramani Mahama has told members of the National Democratic Congress that this is not a time to talk about who leads the party in the 2020 elections. The party today organized a rally as part of events marking its 25th anniversary celebrations at Ashaiman here in Accra. The rally was attended by former Presidents Jerry John Rawlings and other leading members of the party. Former President John Mahama called on the supporters to put the defeat behind them and focus on how to rebuild the party for the 2020 elections.
Bibia efa ponko ho na sa ponko na meka no na enkyere se eye party ne mfom so nti ene elusu yi enye sa na mpe akere na ne ameka ne se ye hwe so na ye organize party ni yi a nipa obedi ye kan se oyo so onyo se meba ezu Miniano Muntieme. Say a reorganization ye na party ni jina na nanswa. Who here ni pobedi a kind, Yakwa, ye bedin kunim, Sana American, ye TNC form, me and fight ye TNC form, and can say, Yanya dear. Nipa beti mi aye ye na me call South Africa ibisa me asem yes ya dey na odi nkogo na me ka bibi me say a incumbency disadvantage if we say ye na ehwe economy no so ye nim na economy ni beti mi aye na ne ntimi nye enti ye call rally a me ka che Ghana for enokre me say na beti mi aye. And so, say Obia Onia Baimu a Otinchain Esha or no Otimika Bibia or Pibia. Yaba Ebese, Yaba Ebese, Yaba Ebese. Na Meka Bibi, Message Omutimiya, nay, ye.
What former President Jerry John Mahama was essentially saying is that he did not intend to denigrate the party when he made those lame horse comments, but he instead wanted to galvanize the party so they are prepared for the 2020 elections. But former President Jerry John Rawlings also urged other members of the party to imbibe in the current generation the tenets of the NDC.
We need to re-examine ourselves. We need some serious education. Not just propaganda stuff. If we, the younger generation, 20 years and below, know very little about where we've come from. How many of us know enough to be able to impart the history of who we are, where we're coming from? One day, I'd like for us to meet here, and I will tell you some very interesting story. 419 is still there. And if we couldn't prevent it, if we seem unable to do anything about it, then I ask myself, where is this? What's the power of our conviction? Even when we were office, the way they were harassing us, the ease with which they got away with 204. Is it called 204? Yeah, 204. They couldn't mess around with 208 because the country would have blown up. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I will stop here and leave you to go home and think about what I'm saying. That you're capable of almost, you could nearly be a one-party state. That's not because we want it that way. Nobody wants it that way. But because of the nature of the revolt, the roots of NDC, PNDC, AFRC.
We go for a quick break. We return with business there.